This is a demonstration on how to field strip a Browning high power 9mm pistol or any Browning high power clone. Here I have an Arcus 94 KA Mark III 9mm pistol. It is a Bulgarian Browning high power clone. I'm going to go through all the steps on how to field strip, that is how to disassemble, and then how to reassemble this pistol. First of all, let's begin with a safety check and make sure that the gun is not loaded and that it is safe to handle. So we remove the magazine. The magazine here is empty. There's no rounds in it. And we do a safety check. No rounds. And we will hold the slide open with a slide stop. And here we verify that there's not a round in it. I can stick my finger in. No round in the chamber. And so it's all safe. It's not live and it's ready to go. Next, what we do is that we will pull the slide back and hold the slide back to the second notch. If you look closely, there's two notches on it. They're the first notch and the second notch here. We want to pull the slide all the way back till the second notch, here lines up with the safety. So we pull it back to the second notch, lines up with the safety like that, and we lock the slide open at the second notch as seen over here. Now that we have the slide all the way back, we can pull the slide stop out. The slide stop is this piece here that holds the slide in, and on the other side of the slide stop is a pin that you can push out to get the slide stop out. The slide stop can usually be removed by hand without the use of a tool, just by pushing on it hard from the other side, and then it comes out just like this. So here's the slide stop taken out. Next, we want to hold the slide firmly and release the safety lever like this. So we release the safety lever and then guide the slide out, and if we keep guiding it forward, it will come apart just like this. So here's the frame and here's the slide and the slide assembly. It looks like this here. The next thing we need to do is that we need to take the recoil spring out. And if you notice, it looks like this here. And so you just pull back on it and it just comes out like that. Alright, the next thing we have now is a barrel. The next thing to do is to take the barrel out slowly and gently. And what we have here is just a slide with a barrel and the recoil spring removed. So there we have it. This is how a Browning high power or a Browning high power clone looks like when it is fully disassembled and field stripped. When you have it fully disassembled and field stripped, you can clean the gun with your favorite cleaning tools, cleaning brushes, and cleaning chemicals. The frame here, there's no part that are to be taken down in a normal field strip disassembly. Any disassembly in this part, in the frame, should be left to a gunsmith and to someone who knows what they are doing. Now, we will reassemble this Browning high power clone Arcus 94 high power pistol back. Reassembly is the opposite to field stripping or to disassembling. The first thing we need to do is to take the slide and hold it so that the bottom shows up. First thing is that we place the barrel back into the slide like this until it just fits neatly in. Next, we put the recoil spring back in. Now, one thing about the recoil spring is that it can only go in one direction. As you see here closely, this recoil spring, there is a part that's notched. The notched portion of the end of the recoil spring here, the notched portion has to go back in with the notched portion facing up. Like this. The portion that has a notch going in, like that, it goes in facing up. So it should look like this. It's important that the recoil spring goes in this correct direction, because if you have it in backwards or in the opposite direction, the pistol will not function properly and may either misfire, misfeed, or jam. So this is very important to take note of and to make sure. And it's all the same whether you have an original Browning high power or any other high power clone, whether it's an Arcus 94 like this one here, or an Hungarian FEG high power clone, or an Argentinian FM high power clone, and any other high power clone. Next, now that we have everything all put back together, we reassemble the pistol by just putting the slide back into the frame like this. So we have it back together and we pull the slide all the way back until the second notch, as shown here, lines up with the safety lever, and we engage the safety lever to hold the slide open at the second notch. Just in the same way as when we did the field strip earlier in this video. Next, we take the slide stop here and we push the slide stop back in. If you just put it back in this hole here, this round hole here, and just stick it in and just push it all the way in until it goes in and it clicks, then it's back together. Then we hold the slide, grab it firmly, and at the same time release the safety catch and guide it forward. And if it stops, that means that we have put it back together and reassembled it properly. Next, just to confirm and to make sure that it's been put back together, we want to pull the slide back a couple of times to make sure and to confirm that we have assembled and put it back together properly. And so we have it put back together. The last and final step is to put the magazine back in. Again, the magazine is empty and the gun is empty. There's no rounds, there's no ammunition, so this is a safe and a clear gun. We can never overestimate the importance of safety. And so we just pop the magazine back in just like that. And to drop the hammer, because this is single action only, a single action pistol, very much like the Colt 1911-45, we must manually drop the hammer with our thumb. They oftentimes recommend a technique by just putting a thumb where the firing pin is and holding onto the hammer and releasing the trigger so that the hammer will drop, and we just let it drop slowly. And there, we have it back together. One thing is that you do not want to drop the hammer with no round in the chamber. You do not want to dry fire a Browning high power or any Browning high power clone. That's because this gun is susceptible to damage by dry firing. By dry firing a high power, you can run the risk of breaking the firing pin or bending it, or bending or denting the slide. So again, you should never dry fire any high power or any high power clone. If you would like, you can use a snap cap when you fire it. A snap cap is an inert round. It looks exactly like a round, but it will catch the firing pin so that the firing pin will not hit something inside the gun and bend or break. And so there it is. That's how to field strip or disassemble and then reassemble a Browning high power or a Browning high power clone.